listening to Rocket Shop Radio Hour at Big Heavy World on The Radiator. I'm your host, Abby BK, and with us in the studio today, we have The Way North, Abby and Ian. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, great. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And this is your first time in the studio, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Newbies.
Well, welcome. This is it.
And
this sets the stage, and then we'll welcome you back perhaps in the future. But I guess do you want to just kind of introduce how you both started playing music together and a little background of your duo project?
Of our duo project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we just kind of fell into it. We fell in love and we just started playing.
pretty much. It's like I remember like how we met. I saw the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life, and then I heard the most beautiful voice, and it was like one of her her original songs, and I messaged her, and I was like, we should jam, right? And honestly, like, she responded, and I was super excited.
Well, the second time.
Yeah, the first time I got
The
denied.
first time
Pretty good
you
shit.
got shut down hard.
Yeah, shut down pretty hard. But the second time it worked out, and like I hadn't played guitar for like acoustic guitar for like 4 years, and I'm like, oh god. So we meet up and we jam, and literally right after that, I called my mom, who's no longer with us, sadly. I called her. I was like, yep, met my wife, and here we go. But I mean, as far as your musical background, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've just been playing with everyone for a long time. And it's been cool to mix our styles here together and see what comes out. It's nice to have your music partner living with you.
Right?
Makes practicing really convenient.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I started playing. I was like in the metal and hardcore community for a while, since like 2001. Like I think my first show at 242 was like in 2001, and lovely that Demolition Derby trophy. Like
Yes.
I drove that car.
No way.
Yeah, it was super cool, and like I've been playing 242 ever since, and up until we were honored to play the last 242 show. So I mean, I've been like a part of this, and like to kind of fuse, like, I'm just a metal kid. Like if you were to tell me like 5 years ago that I'd be playing acoustic guitar, I would have been like, and this is like, it's actually like a really cool. Abby comes from like this folk bluegrass soulful thing. I come from the complete opposite. So it's super cool to like kind of like intermingle these things. So it's fun. It's super fun.
Yeah. Cool to know that you were at 242 and involved there, because we have so much memorabilia around this space.
Yeah, you
I was
do.
looking at all these, like all the posters, and it's like, I remember that one. Like,
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's
Totally.
super crazy to actually like to see these photos all over again. It's very cool.
Yeah, and so Abby, when I was kind of just like looking through your history with your discography and stuff, tell us a little bit more about so you were playing kind of solo, or were you playing with other musicians? Like what did that look like before you were focusing maybe more on playing the two of you together?
So, Lamoille County is my home base, and that's like, there's so much good music in Lamoille County. Lots of talented musicians, and just playing around with them for years, like different renditions of groups and folks and whatnot. And eventually I was able to wrangle 4 other players together, and we had a great 5-piece band for a couple years, and we had some really good traction. It was awesome. It was like a big blues kind of rock band, and that was just a total blast. Schedules are hard. That sort of thing happens, like life happens. Everyone kind of drifted apart. COVID was weird. That definitely played a role. But yeah, so we took a break. We got married, we moved. Now we're just kind of picking things back up and seeing where it takes us. We're always open to playing with other folks and seeing what happens, because it'd be fun to grow this and into something new.
Yeah, totally. And tell us a little bit more about, obviously you said it's very convenient, yes, for rehearsing together. But in terms of how music has impacted, obviously you're married. So how do you feel like music, since playing together, has also really impacted just your connection with each other?
Well, it's a language.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where although we come from like two completely different musical backgrounds, like the end goal is the same, right? Where it's like you just want to be an artist, you want to like be able to like have that deep connection with someone, and like it's further like obviously there's love here, but like you can go to another level to which like if I didn't play music or you didn't play music, yeah, we'd love each other, but like there isn't that other like different connection that you can be both like relate to one another with, because it's certainly like, oh yeah, I've been there. I remember driving for 4 hours to play a show for 20 people and not get paid. It's a little bit, obviously it's more than that, but even like on the very surface, it's like being able to relate to like someone.
Yeah,
like,
just a creative outlet.
yeah,
To do it
absolutely.
together.
Absolutely.
Totally. And so cool that you both kind of come from like these different musical backgrounds. So when your sound is together, like how would you describe this duo that you have going, and what your music, what's like, how would you describe it like in your own words?
I mean, I think it's folky. I mean, I think it's Vermont, just real folk singer-songwriter kind of stuff. There's really no fancy bells or whistles. It's just our life and making music.
Yeah.
A lot of it is Abby's obviously, she's the main song, like she is the songwriter, like that's her thing. And a lot of these songs were written a while ago. So I kind of just like piggybacked and used, like I play in a different tuning than she does. And I just want to offer a little bit more of like, not oomph, but like just something a little bit different, because you don't need to like play like these crazy riffs on your guitar to make a song. Like I'm essentially just here just to compliment.
You're just balancing it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
exactly. Complimenting
the beauty of what she writes, like pretty much.
Awesome. Well, we would love to hear your first song of the night. So what have you got?
We're going to do Morrisville Snow.
Look at my cheat sheet.
That is, I'm from Morrisville, so it's about my hometown and kind of wanting to break free, wanting to get out of there. But yeah, it's one of my favorites, so hope you like it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Caught my reflection and it doesn't look like me. Shivers crawl up my spine like a cold bone chilling breeze. Hiding behind a pale and bitter face, holding on to a pain that time can't erase. These memories, they live on long after they should die. I could build you an ocean from the tears that I've cried. And these hills we grew up in have grown impossibly steep. And the past has a way of sinking her claws into me. So show me the way out and I'll take it as fast as I can. I've been racking my brain for years trying to figure out a plan. I've got so much to give to a world I don't even know. But I'm here under the Morrisville snow. Tomorrow's a new day, now what will it have in store? They say when a window opens, somewhere opens a new door. After racing around these halls, all the doors remain locked. I'll follow you blindly if your words are soft and kind. Upon the rays of the sun, chasing white lines. My God, I've been stopping here with nothing to wait. And I've been turning into what I never thought I would be. But there's too much at stake, and I couldn't possibly go. The choice is no longer there, 'cause I made it long ago. So I'll be here out of fear of letting go. I'll be here under the Morrisville snow. And I'll be here under the Morrisville snow. Yeah. I'm right here under the Morrisville snow.
Let it ring out. Let it ring out. Let it ring out.
Morrisville Snow, by the way, north. I love it. So Abby, tell us a little bit more about like what is your writing process? Like how do songs typically come to you?
Well, I'd say that the best ones come pretty quickly. Usually, I don't know, it's just a feeling. Like I like to grab my guitar usually in the morning with a nice cup of coffee and like cozy up next to a window and just kind of like let whatever is in there just come right out. And then yeah, I don't know, it just kind of takes form that way. I think that the best songs that I write just come out pretty quickly and naturally. When I think too long or really try and mess around with them, they get a little muddy. So I write a lot, and not all of it is good. That is for sure.
it's debatable.
You got to weed through them, but just just writing as much as possible, and seeing where it takes you, kind of letting the song lead the way.
Yeah. Yeah, how often do you think you're like writing?
Right now, not as much as I wish I was. But I mean, I used to really, it was like every day I'd try and just pump out a song a day.
Yeah.
That's what I would try and do. And
That's
then weed
impressive.
through those. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's, even if it's not in song form, just writing is really helpful.
Yeah. And do you find that when you're writing, like, does the tune come to you first? Do lyrics come to you first? Is it kind of at the same time?
I think it's like the guitar. Like I could honestly just hit one note and I'll be like, ooh, this could go over here. I think it starts with the guitar and then I just kind of
Build from
match
there.
up the sounds and the words and build off of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. It's
Yeah.
always cool to like hear the difference between artists and like how
Right.
music comes to them. It's
Yeah, everyone's so different.
yeah, totally. And in terms of like the accompaniment, Ian, do you find that you have like a certain process that you kind of go through to like match what she's written, or how does that work on your end?
On my end, it's essentially like making sure whatever sounds good. I know that's like such a stock answer, but there's been a couple times where like I have like we've been rehearsing and stuff, and I like snuck a note in there, and Abby would be like, "Nope, no,
Get it out.
change it." So it's essentially like my role. I think that I've tried to just essentially be the baseline, like as far as like just giving some depth, because like I'm lower tuned than Abby. I typically play lower than her just to give it some oomph.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why like that was like my mission, just kind of seeing what works and what doesn't. But if it doesn't work, I certainly get told.
No, I'm not like
No.
that. Not at
No,
all.
no, no.
No, everything always. I mean, everything always sounds good. You know, it sounds good.
Yeah,
You
and the beauty
You know it
is,
works.
well, the frustration on my end is because like I know it sounds good in my head. I cannot sing it to like I can't like vocalize it, but I know what sounds good in my head. That's why like I rely solely on like I mean whatever she does, pretty much everything that she does is gold. So like I just try to I'm not trying to diminish my role, but like I essentially just try to follow along and like just provide that like
That extra support.
that lower end of
Yeah.
support essentially.
But I think that you do a great job because I just throw stuff at you. Like we'll be at a show and I'm like, let's give this one a whirl, you know, and he's never
Yeah.
even heard it. I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah,
But I
there's
think that's
been a
fun.
couple
Like
times
that's
like that.
I think that's fun. That's part of the creative process. Is like sometimes just being on the spot and like
Yeah, there's been a bunch of times like when we were playing, you're like, let's do this. It's like, haven't practiced that, and then you know we just kind of like
Winging
make
it.
make it work, and I like go a little quiet every once in a while just to like
Yeah.
hide myself. But no, it's certainly like that's as far as my role is concerned. Like to bring it back is just to provide like literal, both figuratively and literal support.
my
Yeah.
rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. And I know that you had said a little earlier that you're like open to maybe collaborating with other musicians or
gosh,
whatnot.
Yeah.
So when you have like some of these songs, I guess that you're playing tonight or ones that you're working on, like, do you hear other instrumentation that you like
Oh, yeah.
can imagine?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I do. Like
Yeah.
I hear drums and I hear like selfishly like I
You want to turn them all into metal songs.
yeah, like I'm like okay, this could be a banger of a song
Yeah.
and like one of these days I swear to God I'm going to like I'll learn all like the entire catalog and like just do a rendition of just a pure rock album of it. But yeah, I hear drums, I hear bass.
Oh
like,
yeah, I hear
everything.
it all. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
especially because you had that already with
Yeah.
these songs. Like
Yeah,
these
with a lot
are-
of them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that would be cool if you did another genre version.
I know. Wouldn't that
I'm
be
gonna,
fun?
I'm gonna, as soon as I find my
Something so
laptop,
different.
I'm gonna do it.
There's been a couple. I think you did a few. Mm-hmm. You did.
Yeah, we did.
That's cool.
On your
Yeah, the
laptop.
newer ones that we've written together.
Yeah.
Like they're on there somewhere. I just don't know. We don't know where they are.
We lost the laptop
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the move. Things get lost.
totally. Awesome. Well, we'd love to hear your second song. So, what have you got?
Cool. We're gonna do These Hills.
Yeah.
Which is kind of just another one about living here in the hills. I might do a little quick tune though before. See, I live in capo world, so I have to tune quite often, honestly. But I think we're pretty good. This Taylor doesn't go out of tune too easily. Now we'll go with that. Okay, you ready?
Let's go.
Okay.
Now I'm ready.
Been running these hills since the day I was born. Know how my parents tried to raise a good Christian girl, but the devil he called with a deal and a job. No, you won't make a living praying to God. No, you won't make a living praying to God. Now of all the things my eyes have seen, oh, what scares me the most is the nature of greed. It blackens your heart, envelops your mind. No, you can't outrun the truth, it'll catch you in time. So hush,
little baby, sleep soft and sweet. Wouldn't want you to worry about a thing. Your reasons and I've got mine. Oh, now don't be so quick to pass judgment on me. Boy, I've lived through the tears you see when you dream. So pass the bourbon and roll up the green. If this is my life, I'm gonna live free. Oh, now who's to say what's right and what's wrong? Here right now is where we belong. So hush, little baby, sleep soft and sweet. Wouldn't want you to worry about a thing. So hush, little baby, sleep soft and sweet. Wouldn't want you to worry about a thing. Been running these hills since the day I was born. Oh, how my parents tried to raise a good Christian girl.
Good job.
These hills. So tell us a little bit more. I know that you both, have expressed how, Ian likes metal, you like kind of the folk vibe. But in terms of like what you're listening to these days, who do you think are like your biggest inspirations, artist wise, musician wise?
Well, I'd say, he's gotten me really into Haley Williams.
The Paramore.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm like new to this whole Paramore thing. Really just her voice is what gets me. I love her voice. So that's been fun, exploring that and kind of trying to, inspire and draw from that a bit. Susan Tedeschi is always like huge. Like she is my girl. She is a huge inspiration for me. And actually,
I was going to say, you better not say
well,
it.
so I think it was like 3 years ago. When I had my big full band, we were playing at Nectar's, and Susan and Derek were in town because they were playing at the Ben and Jerry's? Is that?
Oh, like one of the concerts?
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, on the green or whatever.
Yeah, on the green.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they just like were jamming along there, and I think my bass player was like, he was trying to keep me calm. He's like, Abby, don't look now, but I think Susan Tedeschi just walked out of the bathroom.
Goddamn
And I was
idol.
like, what? And then yes, it was her. It was Susan, and Derek was in the back, and they were just so cool. Susan was up front with us, just like dancing and vibing.
gosh.
And then I got her on stage with me, and she sang one of my songs
Oh my god.
two-
with
Like-
me.
like-
We're like sharing a mic, like
That's amazing.
it was pretty phenomenal. And that was one of the best moments of my life.
Totally.
And then they were like hanging with us backstage. And then we got tickets. They gave us like VIP tickets to their show the
That's
following night.
amazing.
It was pretty epic.
Yeah.
That was the yeah, that was like I had to get to work really early the next morning. So like
He wasn't playing with us at that point.
No. But like that was like, I was like obviously their biggest fangirl. And so
You missed it.
yeah, like I was like, "Oh, sorry, I've got to work really early in the morning." And I wake up and Abby's like shaking me. She's like shaking me. She's like, oh my God, like Susan Tedeschi. And I was like, what? And like the one show that
Right.
I missed, like that happened. It was crazy. It
Well,
was
and
absolutely crazy.
It's Sergio, who's no longer working there. He's no longer with us, but he records all of those shows. So I have a recording of that.
Wow.
And I'll always have that.
Uh,
So special.
I love that.
Me and Susan.
What a full circle moment.
It was, yeah, for
That's
sure.
amazing. So I guess, so whenever you're like experiencing writer's block, do you tend to kind of like lean back and like listen to some of those artists to kind of re-inspire, or what are kind of like do you have any other like ways that you get inspired other than just listening to other artists?
It's really just like whatever I'm going through. Like that's really how I deal with my feelings.
Yeah.
Like it's not always through listening to other artists. It's really just like it's how I process life.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I don't know. I guess I haven't really run into writer's block because I just write about everything. So, but certainly like when I find a really cool new band, that is certainly inspiring and kind of leans me in a different direction and trying to kind of do some of their cool ideas and
Yeah,
whatnot. But
certainly there's been like a couple different shifts I've noticed, like in some of the different songs.
well, ever since we've been playing together, it's like
yeah,
all the music that we listen to now is different than what.
yeah.
You know, I was like Gillian Welch, Tyler Childers, Sarah Jarosz. Like Sarah Jarosz was like, oh my gosh, I was in love with her. And they're all really folky, bluegrassy. But now that we're together, that's changed, and that's good. There's always so much music to explore. You gotta find new bands and
Yeah.
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so, obviously you've already released a lot of music. Are you planning on, is there anything in the works that you're hoping to release soon? Are there any like songs you've been sitting on?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a plethora. We are in. I'm not going to say his name, but like we are talking about like doing
Oh yeah.
doing something like together. At a studio that we've been both recording quite a bit at, and yeah, like I think there's something.
Oh, definitely. I just want to eat, like, it's more so for me. Like, I just want to get these songs. I don't want to forget them, you know? Like, I want to
Yeah,
have
there's
them,
only
so.
about 80 of them.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
let's do
now
something
that we're
with them.
settled, because we moved out to Calais, it hasn't even been a year yet. So now that we're like settling in, things are kind of calming down on that front, it's definitely
Yeah.
time to get in the studio again.
Yeah, now that like we've gained some sense of normalcy, like now it's like, okay, let's start playing again and do
Yeah.
something. Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. So are the ones that you're thinking for your next project, are they songs that you've been sitting on for a while, or are they like newer ones that you've written more recently?
It's both for sure. There's a lot of new ones that we'll put on there, and then there's some good oldies that never made it onto an album that we'll put on.
And what's like your process for like knowing like which songs
Oh
go
my
in what batch? It
gosh.
must be difficult if you're
It's
writing
so
like a song a
hard.
day.
It's so hard. It's just like certain ones just stick out to me. Those are the ones that I like, that I want to play.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that we go with. But it's fun to go through the notebook and find little gems. It's like, oh yeah, I remember you. We could do something with this.
Yeah. Totally, yeah. And any like themes or anything that you've like noticed that are kind of coming out in this next project that you're working on, like
I don't
the
know.
songs?
I'm not sure. I don't know if there's really a theme. I mean, I think that all of my songs, like, it's all about love in the end. It may be hard to like find that in a lot of my songs, but for me, that is really where all of my music and art stems from, is just love. Having it, not having it.
Right. Or lack thereof of
Yeah.
it. Right.
That's it. Just love for anything,
Right.
everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad thing to draw upon. Awesome. Well, what have you got for your third song?
Oh, what do we have? Let's see.
That feel.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Right.
that would be great. Let's do that. Yeah, this one's about lack thereof.
Ah.
Okay.
Every time that I get close, it always comes to this. Just another story to forget. Don't know if I can take another turn. I can feel my fire dying with nothing left to burn. So give me everything you got, 'cause I don't wanna feel. It's easier to hide inside a world that isn't real. The silence is starting to fill up the rooms. It's gonna reach the ceiling soon. The kind of loneliness that eats you alive. Wishing myself better luck next time. So give me everything you got, 'cause I don't wanna feel. It's easier to hide inside a world that isn't real. Get my mind back where it needs to be. Just set me free. I'm starting to slip and I'm losing my grip on this reality. How many more smiles do I have to fake? How many more hearts can I break? Every time that I get close, it always comes to this.
Feel by the Way North. Beautiful. So realistically, obviously, your husband and wife living together. How often do you find yourself like actually sitting down and rehearsing these tunes?
Not as often as we should.
Like, really not as often as we should.
Yeah, honestly, like there's been a
We've
bunch.
gotten bad.
Yeah, we've gotten pretty bad where it's like I still have my cheat sheet here because like I haven't taken the training wheels off quite yet, but
You
like there's
don't
been a
need
bunch of
that.
times where it's like, we really got to learn this song. We really got to learn this song. And then,
Mm-hmm.
you know, life happens. The kids got to go from A to B to C. And then it's like, yeah, we'll get it later. Like,
And then we just get on stage and we're like, let's do it.
yeah, there's been a bunch of times.
Yeah.
This is one of them. But it's weird because it's like, because we are together all the time, where it's like you don't, you know, if you were to like carve out a time with like, you know, your regular bass player, you know, your regular bandmates, like then it's like, okay, today's practice day. And then, but like, it tends to get, it doesn't get lost in translation. It's just one of those things where I think we take it for granted, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, we wouldn't know if you haven't rehearsed. You sound great.
Oh,
so,
thank you.
but so in terms of like gigging as well, where have you been gigging these days? And like, how often do you try to get out there and try to perform?
So we've been slowly getting back in there. There's a great little place in Calais, which is where we live now, called the Whammy Bar. We've been playing there
Yeah, it's
quite a
super
bit.
cool.
It's fantastic. That's actually our next show is going to be at the Whammy, not this weekend, but the following weekend on the 4th.
No, on the 11th.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, on the 11th. So, yeah,
I had no idea that we were playing it until like I was like,
because it's also a general store.
yeah, it's
That's
a
where
general
we get like our
store, but like
Yeah.
it's such a cool venue, and like
Yeah.
I think max capacity, it's like a bar / restaurant. I think max capacity is probably like 35 people.
But you're like sardines.
Like you are, it is
tight.
rocking in there, and like I was at a store or at that store, like getting something I can't remember like this weekend, and I was looking at all the upcoming events. And it didn't say the Way North. It just said Abby and Ian. So I like texted Abby. I was like, "Are we playing like on the 11th of April?" She's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." I was like, okay, "That's yeah."
Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. But where else? We just did a really fun thing with Rocket Dog. No,
Oh
Underground Studio.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting like everything all confused.
yeah, that's in Randolph. It's
Dog.
Vincent Freeman's gig. We just barely played that. That was last Friday.
Yeah. And that was fun.
We've been doing Moog's joint
Yeah.
and Moog's place. Like that's
yeah.
kind of like that's her stomping ground.
Yeah.
That's home base for sure.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I've heard great things about Moogs. And I think I've heard of the Whammy Bar as well.
It's
Yeah.
super
From other
cool.
artists that have
It's
come in here.
Super cool.
Yeah.
The fact that you have to like meander through like organic ramen noodles to get to the stage.
I
is
mean, you would
awesome.
probably see a moose out there.
I know
Like, I'm
maybe
not-
this
yeah, literally.
maybe
If you
this
wanna
is
come to our
inspiration.
show,
yeah.
yeah.
Totally.
They've got really good wings.
Find a
It's
moose.
delightful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind live music. Maybe see a moose and eat some good food. So, do you ever do any of like the open mic scene as well to test out any new?
I love going to open mic. I love
Yeah, it's
it.
fun.
I love going to open mics. We just don't have a lot of free time. Like we have a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
So we're home with her most of the time. So it's hard to just kind of go out on a
Get
whim
up and
to an
go.
open mic. It's much easier if it's like a gig, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love a good open mic. I really do.
That's-
That was definitely how I first started. Was just
Yeah.
open mics.
Yeah, I feel like they're a great opportunity just to like try out new material. So-
Absolutely. And
yeah.
just meet the local musicians who like really have
Totally.
that passion that maybe aren't established yet, but really have that passion and want to
Yeah.
go with it.
That was actually how we got asked to play the first Whammy Bar. Was we just showed up one night
For
on
open
open
mic,
mic,
yeah.
and we're like, hey, we've got like 2 or 3 songs, and before we started playing, I asked the guy that like organized open mic. I was like, hey, like, would you mind us like playing a couple shows here? And he's like, we'll see how you do on
Yeah.
open mic. And then right after we played, I think it was 2 or 3 songs, I can't remember. Like he like accosted us. He's like, okay, it's either this weekend or next weekend you guys are playing. And I was like, sweet. So that was like kind of how that all
Yeah.
happened. It was,
That's
it's
awesome.
a delightful place. It was super cool.
Totally. Well, that's awesome. Well, we're kind of coming close to the end of the show.
Okay.
So, on the note of gigs, we always like to give people the floor just to let us know like where you're playing next and how best to listen to your music and support everything that you're doing. So, the floor is yours just to give us the rundown of how best to support.
Yeah, really just find us on like Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, The Way
that's,
North.
That's the best way.
Essentially.
The Way North or Abby Sherman McCullough. That's how I keep everyone up to date right now.
Yeah.
And then we have music on YouTube. You can always go on YouTube. There's all sorts of our music up there. So from all of my projects, so you'll get a good variety if you look us up on there. But yeah, just find us on the social medias.
Totally. Yeah.
That would be it.
Awesome. And is any of your like heavy metal music from back in the day or anywhere?
I think it's honestly, I think it's still up there. I think
Yeah.
it's reverservt .bandcamp
sweet.
.com.
Yeah.
And yeah, and we're actually on Spotify. So if you look up Reverser, then there you go.
Yeah.
I still every once in a while when I get nostalgic, I'll still like listen to that and be like, those were good days and bad days, but
Yeah.
here I am now, right?
Totally.
Okay, you happy? You want to try it?
Yeah.
Wanting to run, yes.
Yeah.
Let's do
Go
it.
right
Wanting
ahead.
to run. Okay.
Favorite.
These calloused fingers fumble over the strings. Do you only find me beautiful when I sing?
Way North, Abby and Ian. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you
tonight.
so much for having us. This was
Thank you.
Yeah, this was a great show. Thank you for sharing your wonderful music with us.
Anytime.
And,
We'll always come back.
Yes, please.
yes.
Please come back.
Cool.
And everyone, up next Wednesday, we don't have anything next Wednesday because it's the first Wednesday of the month. But the following Wednesday on April 9th, we have Christian Montgomery. So make sure to tune in then. But in the meantime, thank you so much for listening to the listeners out there. This has been Rocket Shop Radio Hour. I'm your host, Abby BK, and we hope you have a wonderful night. We'll see you next time.
Nice. Cool.
So fun.
Perfect.